Who are these people?
Welcome. Welcome to the show, another episode of Angel in the Afternoon. I think we're number 75, pretty sure. My name is Angel Rivera alongside my good Alex Knight. How are you doing?
Good. How about you?
I'm good. Last week, interesting week, this week. If you missed it, we were on Politically Homeless on Tuesday covering the debate live. That was fun. Those, or boring, but to me that was fun at the same time because I got to have to watch the debate with other people instead of either watching it by myself or just watching clips that I probably wouldn't cared about anyways. But yeah, so welcome to the show. It's episode 75. Let's see. Sorry. We got a lot to talk about this week. Uh first things first, the debate. Obviously, we're going to go over that and cover that. We're going to go over Iran attacking Israel over the week, this past weekend, whenever it happened, and we are going to go over the longshoremen strike, which didn't last long, lasted all 3 days before they came to a deal rather quickly. And I have my reasons why I think that happened. We'll get to that, and we're also going to get to the most recent hurricane that passed by, Hurricane Helene, Hen, whatever, Helene. I'm pretty sure that's how it's pronounced. And FEMA's either lack of response or lack of caring or whatever happened to them, but yeah, they completely just like, oh no, yeah, by the way, there's no more money, and we are not going to give you any money. So, oh, your city was destroyed, whatever. Oh, good luck to you trying to fix it. We got no money. I mean,
$750. I mean, what the fuck?
yeah, we got no money, but somehow the United States government has billions, if not trillions, of dollars for Ukraine and Israel. But as soon as you talk about fixing cities that were destroyed because of hurricanes, and all that stuff, like, oh, $750. Oh, by the way, not everybody's actually eligible for that money though. That's mean tested. That's means tested too, by the way, which we'll get to that in later, a little later on. But because I saw and I played it, I saw a video from people saying, "Oh yeah, the entire neighborhood where we were at, were not eligible for the money, even though they did apply online." Look at how just evil that is. Like, oh yeah, you can apply online. By the way, most people don't have electric, so how am I supposed to get on the internet? I don't know, but but maybe there's a way to get on the internet without electricity, but I don't know how to do it. So, but yeah, they finally got the electric back. They finally got on the internet, and they were told, "Oh yeah, you're not actually eligible for this $750." So not only do they get basically a fuck you from the United States government for $750, but they're also not eligible. A lot of these people. So it's like, oh yeah, and oh yeah, by the way, go fuck yourselves. It's basically what they were told by the American government. Uh, Steve, how you doing? Thank you for joining us. Hey, Witchy, thank you for joining us as well. Please give me a like if you haven't already, wherever platform you're on. Let's see. So we'll get started with the Iranian attack and Israel. We got a lot to get to, so I really don't want to spend too much time lollygagging too much here. Oh, those are old. Hold on, bear with me 1 second.
I love you too, Witchy.
Why would you? Oh, this is really old. Why the hell did I keep that there? But yeah, where is it? Where is it? Ah, here we go. So let's get started. Thank you, Richie. I love you too. Let's see. Oops. So these are the alleged strikes, and again, I say alleged because I don't know what to believe on the internet anymore. So these are the alleged strikes. Let's see. I barely could see it though from this angle. It's small. All right, bear with me 1 second. Yeah, these are the strikes. I don't know what to believe anymore because it's the internet, but so these are the strikes as apparently the Iron Dome couldn't catch most of these missiles. About 95% went through somehow. So again, the American taxpayers paid hundreds of billions of dollars to not only build the Iron Dome but maintain it. And apparently it didn't catch most of these missiles. So it's like, yeah. So what's the point? We just wasted a bunch of taxpayer money.
Yeah.
So that's that. So we also have a video of we also have another video here of the Iranians again. Uh, yeah, the Iron Dome sucked. I mean, it didn't work at all. This is footage of the Iranians setting up their missiles for the attack. So it's just that. So they like here's the thing. I don't know why Israel thought it was a good idea to antagonize the Iranians. They were like they didn't they and I saw this video they're talking about well, we didn't do nothing to the Iranians, some Zionist sympathizers. And I was like, except you attacked Iran on at least two separate occasions. And the most recent occasion was in Syria when you bombed their embassy and killed one of their generals. But yeah, but you never attacked Iran though. Israel never attacked Iran though, except when they attacked their embassy, which means they're attacking sovereign territory of Iran. But yeah, let's ignore that part. But you never really attacked Iran, right? Like you were trying to drag Iran into this conflict for no reason, because what Netanyahu is trying to recreate is it's called Greater Israel, which is in the Bible. Basically, it basically is a. Let me show this real quick. Greater Israel. I think I showed this before in the show, but it's been a while. So uh, load. Here we go. Nope. Why isn't this loading? Jesus Christ. You know what? Let's just do it like this. So, so that's what we're talking about here. So, Greater Israel includes Israel, most of Syria, half of Iraq, half of Saudi Arabia, and Lebanon. It takes all Lebanon too, and the Red Sea over here. So this is Israel here. My pad is there, and he wants all of this territory here on top of that. But Iran is like way over here, so I don't know why Iran has anything to do with this. Again, he attacked Iran for no reason because they had nothing to do with this. I mean,
Yeah.
Lebanon, okay, Syria, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, parts of Egypt too. So it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna start a war with the Egyptians. I mean, this is what is I think Netanyahu's ultimate end game here. To take all again, he's already taken most of the West Bank and Gaza. Lebanon, he started attacking now. There's parts of Syria here, where he's attacked as well. Iraq, Saudi Arabia. This is his end game here, and people don't. And all I see people saying, "Well, I mean, Putin, he's the imperialist. He's done this, blah blah blah." Meanwhile, here comes Netanyahu attempting to take all this territory, and he's like, "Oh no, but he's not. He's not a imperialist. No, 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 no." So, yep, ridiculous. Okay, just ridiculous. Then we have Kamala Harris she's claiming that the Iranians are destabilizing the Middle East. So let's watch this hilarious bit here.
I'm clear eyed. Iran is a destabilizing, dangerous force in the Middle East, and today's attack on Israel only further demonstrates that fact. Earlier today, I was in the Situation Room with President Biden and our national security team as we monitored the attack in real time and ensured that the protection of U.S. personnel in the region is paramount. I fully support President Biden's order for the U.S. military to shoot down Iranian missiles targeting Israel, just as we did in April. We are still assessing the impact, but initial indications are that Israel, with our assistance, was able to defeat this attack. Our joint defenses have been effective, and this operation and successful cooperation saved many innocent lives. As I have said, I will always ensure Israel has the ability to defend itself against Iran and Iran-backed terrorist militias. My commitment to the security of Israel is unwavering.
Oh God, there it is, unwavering. I
I
wouldn't.
APAC wrote that speech for her.
Yeah, she's like, oh, well, I mean, I was in the Situation Room with President Biden, and I completely agreed with President Biden, and I'm gonna fall asleep now. I mean, was she on Ambien? Or she had a few
I forgot
bottles of
to
wine.
chuckle or laugh after she was talking.
I mean, it's like she's just speaking like this, and it's like what the. And it keeps going though.
But apparently,
And let us be clear, Iran
according to Kyle Kowinski, she's still killing it.
Oh, well, I'm sure he says that.
is not only a threat to Israel, Iran is also a threat
No,
to American personnel in the region, American interests, and innocent civilians across the region who suffer at the hands of Iran-based and backed terrorist proxies. We will never hesitate to take whatever action is necessary to defend U.S. forces and interests against Iran and Iran-backed terrorists. And we will continue to work with our allies and partners to disrupt Iran's aggressive behavior and hold them accountable. Thank you.
I wonder should they'll hold Israel accountable. It says here, Kamala Harris says Iran is destabilizing the Middle East, not the country occupying and bombing four countries at the same time, which is the United States. We are not a destabilizing force in the Middle East, but somehow Iran is, even though we're currently Iran still bombing in Iraq, Afghanistan, and Syria, and there's another country there. So many countries are bombing that I'm losing track, but yeah, I mean, it's not us. It's definitely Iran. They're the destabilizing force in the Middle East. They have destabilized everything. They're the evil ones. So, did I play this? Yeah, I just did. Why is this here twice? I don't know. That's an old one. Let's just go to. We'll go to that in a second. But yeah, I mean, I don't know why the Iranian or the the Israel wants to bring Iran into this war because they're not going to beat Iran. If Iran decides, you know what, fuck it, we're going to commit forces into Israel. How long are they going to last? Even with U.S. assistance, how long are they going to last? Because let's say the U.S. gets involved and decides to push back the Iranians. If the Russians get involved, oh yeah, we're stumbling into World War III because Russia and Iran are allies. So right now we're in a tough geopolitical situation because Israel has no allies left other than us, other than the U.S. and because they've been bullying everybody in the Middle East for decades because they have the United States as backup and nobody does anything. Now those times have changed. Now you have Iran bombing them. You have the rest of the world kind of like fuck these fucking pricks. These Zionists who think they're better than any of us. And they. I swear I saw. I want to play. I saw a. This is from a week ago though, so I don't know whether I saved it. But there's a bunch of these tweets from Zionists just how scared to death they were because how all the bombs on top of them and stuff. Not thinking about what they did to the Palestinians with all the bombs on top of them, and they don't know when the bombs are going to land on them or not. But yeah, I mean, that wasn't scary to them. In fact, they were celebrating it and they were proud of themselves. But now, as soon as it happens to them, all of a sudden, here comes Meltdown City. You know, they just completely like melted down, and they're scared to death, even though they scared a bunch of people to death too, in Gaza. So, but that doesn't matter to them because the Gaza people from Gaza, they're below us, they're lower. So they, all right. So where is it? I hope I can find it, but oh God, Stephen Curry is endorsing Kamala Harris. Yeah, I forgot I tweeted that. Like I've said this before, but there's a rule that celebrities have to endorse Kamala Harris because if they don't, then they're in trouble or something happens to
I
them.
mean,
That's
it's
what it
not
seems like.
surprised because Steve Kerr has endorsed Kamala as well. So
This is a video of Netanyahu basically scared to death here.
yeah,
I'm sure everybody's seen this, but look, he's like this. Even though he pretended to be a tough guy, but ultimately he's just completely shook there. So I'm trying to find the specific. It's not this one, but I can show this though. Shitting, farting, shitting, farting. Hey Snow, how you doing? Let's see. This is Israel's official Twitter account. This isn't normal. Every single one of these rockets is meant to kill. Meanwhile, I put, this isn't normal. I didn't hear Israel saying this when they were bombing Gaza back
hot,
into the Stone
hot meat
Age.
kettle.
That this isn't normal. Even though they did the same thing to people in Gaza, but yeah, we got Snow Himbo in chat, we got Witchy, we got Max, we got a bunch of people here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Please give me a like if you're able to, if you're on the right platform. But where is that tweet? This is it. I didn't save it. I should have, but I'm trying to figure out how to start this DLC.
Yeah, what's
A,
DLC?
a DLC.
I thought I meant actual DLC.
Yeah. This has got to be bigger. That's good enough. So this is the dude who is such a. He says, "I don't think you can understand what's happening right now. Literally booms over. I think he meant bombs over our heads every 4 seconds. Sirens nonstop. Every single city's under attack. Literally, it's raining ballistic missiles below. So these.
Oh yeah, and Israel hasn't at all. Not at all.
Nope. So this is the sirens he was referring to. And scared to death here, and I can imagine."
אלוהים ישמור, אלוהים ישמור. שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד.
Yeah, I can't imagine not being scary, but however, I put this is ironic. You're trying to be a victim. How do you feel right now with the booms going over your head? It's the exact same terror. Wait, is that terror you feel is exactly how the IDF made the Palestinians feel, and you cheered it on. So I don't feel that badly for you. So again, I cannot believe how anybody would just act like like they are the victims, but meanwhile, it's just so like like how Jesus Christ. So let's see here. What else? I think yeah. So Israel's in a lot of trouble. They don't have any allies. They don't have any allies really in the world, and the
Israel
U.S.
fucked around and they found out.
Yeah, the U.S. isn't gonna be able to do much in the long run because it's like they don't have much of a shot here to do anything. No, very little because what are we gonna do? Are we gonna go to war with Iran over Israel? I mean, is that what Israel's endgame is, dragging us into their holy war? But what's going to end up happening ultimately is just, let's just say that the Russians decide, you know what, if you attack Iran, we're going to defend our ally. Like we talked about Tuesday, that most likely will force the U.S. to backpedal a little bit because they won't have much of a choice, because it's like, okay, well, if we attack Iran, then Russia's going to come into war, and if Russia comes into war and we kill their troops, then here comes China. They'll run into this war, and all of a sudden we're in a world war with a bunch of nuclear powers, and we can kiss our asses goodbye in that scenario, because somebody be crazy enough to press the button. I don't know who it is, but somebody's definitely gonna be crazy enough to press, or desperate enough to press the button. So this is an impact site of an Iranian missile.
Trying to be like Ric Flair there. What is he doing?
I don't know.
This is the
Yeah, so that's the crater here. I'm not going to show this whole thing. I just where's the there it is. There's just a big crater there, and one of their missiles allegedly landed at. So yeah, so they're in trouble. They are in trouble. Let's see. Netanyahu. So yeah, so big attack on Monday or Sunday, whenever it happened. Now that we'll see what happens, but quite frankly, it's like it's not good. This team can devolve, but at the same time, there's no way a U.S. is going to get involved a month before the election, because right now the U.S. is, it seems like they're doing everything they can to make sure Kamala Harris wins next month, and there's already like corporate media is like, oh, it's going to take a few days to do the election count, right? We're not going to have a results on election night. I'm like, but it's not 2020. Everybody's mostly going to vote in person now. So what do you mean that can be a result for a few days? I mean, it seems like they're already setting up to steal this election. That's how it's coming across. Because they're all saying, oh, it might take a few days. It might take a few days, for the election results to be counted. So let's see. So this story, real quick, is CNN desperate for money. They've decided to do something here. CNN is launching a digital paywall today, requiring readers to pay $3.99 a month for unlimited access to their stories. I wonder how this would fare, given that their website wasn't really my favorite news site, even though it was unlimited for free. So CNN has a brilliant idea to have a digital paywall for their standard news story. You go on CNN.com, there's a bunch of stories, you click on them, you read them, and that's it. Now you have to pay for it, basically. You're not going to be able to read any of their stories. So it's $3.99 a month for unlimited access. Who's going to pay this? I don't know, because what's their market? Who's going to pay for this other than independent online media shitlibs that use CNN stories to justify their opinions? So other than that, I don't know who's going to buy that service. Let's see. So where's I have so many stuff here. Well, let's get to the debate then. Yeah, that happened on Tuesday, and WEF lithium. Oh yeah, of course. The Gaza Strip has been pretty much destroyed, and there's already plans for it. The Israelis are like, they're looking to build like these townhouses and build these very expensive cities there, and make money. So I don't remember this part of the date. It must have happened where
the very beginning of the debate.
Okay, I missed it. It says the expansion of Israel is absolutely necessary for the United States. So this is Tim Walz saying that on Tuesday. So.
Yeah.
The expansion of Israel and its proxies is an absolute fundamental necessity for the United States to have the steady leadership there. Let's keep in mind where this started.
Let's understand how we got here.
October 7th.
On October 7th,
Hamas terrorists.
Hamas a terrorist organization,
massacred over 1,400 Israelis and took prisoners.
slaughtered 1,200 Israelis.
Someone must have told them the script is wrong. They raised it from 1,200 to 1,400. Yeah, Tim Walz said 1,400 and Kamala said 1,200 on October 6th.
Women were horribly raped.
German envoy admits he spread lie about October 7th mass rapes. Claims of mass rape by Hamas unravel upon investigation. So there's multiple articles. How the U.S. helped Israel promote Hamas mass rape lie to justify mass murder in Gaza. It keeps going. You know, they're just absolute lies.
And so absolutely, I said then, I say now, Israel has a right to
Anyone who's paying attention knows this is not what self-defense looks like.
defend itself.
Israel's ability to be able to defend itself is absolutely fundamental.
So yeah, so Tim Walz said not only keeping Israel but expanding Israel in its proxies, whatever that means. You know, it's fundamental to the United States. You know, like there's no doubt that we have to not only protect Israel but help them expand. So right now it makes people like I get some people telling me, well, I mean, Kamala Harris and Tim Walz aren't as bad on Israel. I'm like, no, they're worse, arguably, than Trump. You know, if you want to make that argument, at least you know, Trump, you know, he's still a Zionist and he's still all this other stuff.
Yeah.
But it isn't like, you know, that's why this should tell you poor people that do not this should tell you poor people that you do not matter to these idiot politicians. No, I mean, of course not. Of course not. Nobody, they don't care. Oops. Where are my bookmarks? Yeah. So yeah, there's this.
What's that? Who's talking back there?
Somebody outside the building here. It's being picked up by the mic. I'm sorry, but so this is Tim Walz. I think Tim Walz says nothing for 2 minutes straight because he lied about being in Hong Kong in 1989 during the Tiananmen Square, massacre. And the CNN or CBS moderator asked him about it, and this is the nonsense we got.
Rode your bike.
If you saw the debate on Tuesday, you know what this is already. But this is what the nonsense we got.
Governor Walz, you said you were in Hong Kong during the deadly Tiananmen Square protests in the spring of 1989. But Minnesota Public Radio and other media outlets are reporting that you actually didn't travel to Asia until August of that year. Can you explain that discrepancy?
Yeah, well, and to the folks out there who didn't get at the top of this, look, I grew up in small rural Nebraska,
That's not an answer,
town of 400, town that you rode your bike with your buddies till the streetlights come on, and I'm proud of that service.
You don't need to hear any of that. It doesn't matter. None of that. It's just nonsense. That's why it doesn't matter. You're just being fast forwarded here.
Governor, just to follow up on that, the question was, can you explain the discrepancy?
All I said on this is I got there that summer and misspoke on this. So I will just, that's what I've said. So I was in Hong Kong and China during the democracy protests went in. And from that, I learned a lot of what needed to be in governance.
Oh, nothing.
How is it that he always misspeaks? How does it? How does he always does that?
He just, that's what he does apparently. He just misspeaks. It's like 2 minutes, just like 2 minutes worth of nonsense. So I heard this one live because because I was watching it. I'm the only one that caught this live because Tim Walz says I become friends with school shooters. I heard that live and I'm like, did he just say I just became friend with school shooters? Everybody and you ask you guys like, I don't know, did he? I mean, and then I saw it on X later. It's like, yeah, he did say that. I'm kind of the only one that caught that, but that's why.
I've become friends with school shooters. I've seen it. Look, the NRA, I was an NRA guy for a long time. They used to.
So,
and what's funny is that he's been asked multiple times to clarify that, and he hasn't done it.
no. No, he hasn't.
But also,
never...
you can check my profile. Somewhere like a couple days ago, I was responding I responded with that clip, but it was just like a short 2-second clip where he just said, it's pretty funny. If you put it on loop, it's pretty funny to listen to.
Yeah. This is Tim Walz refuses to explain what he meant when he said he was friends with school shooters. So this is after the debate. Let's go back to the beginning.
Governor, you said you'd become friends with school shooters during the debate. Can you clarify what you meant on that?
No, I mean, leave me alone.
Can you clarify what you meant when you said you'd be friends with school shooters? Why did you say you were in Hong Kong when reports say you weren't?
Governor, you said
okay, so he's wanting to stuff his face with pizza instead of answering questions. He's like, what pizza do I want today? Do I want pepperoni? Do I want sausage? Do I want meat lovers?
Is there Israeli pizza there? I think I might want.
I'm not sure what part of the country this is. Either Justino's Pizzeria. Love something slice, So I'm not sure where that part of the country. It must be in a swing state or something. But yeah, I mean, it's classic. You're like, nope, not answering that. Very inconvenient for me. I mean,
and the funniest part of the debate was Tim's constant faces, his reactions.
Yeah. So we have a couple of clips here from JD Vance. He didn't do much better, but at least he wasn't.
At least, like, if I were to pick who won that debate, I think it'd be Vance just by a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I'm going to get to like polling a little bit later that shows that most Americans said it was 50-50. So most Americans thought it was like 50-50. Can I have Can I have a dash of Ukraine on my pizza? I mean, I'm sure Witchy or Tim Walz would love that because school shootings are pre-planned. Very similar to what Alex Jones said. We don't want a lawsuit on our hands too, but I get your point though. Let's see. JD Vance says it's up to Israel whether or not they decide to launch preemptive strikes against Iran, but it's not preemptive strikes. They already did it twice, and the Iranians responded. So J.D. Vance is just lying here. But let's see what he said.
Margaret, and I want to answer the question. Look, now you asked about a preemptive strike, Margaret, and I want to answer the question. Look, it is up to Israel what they think they need to do to keep their country safe, and we should support our allies wherever they are when they're fighting the bad guys. I think that's the right approach to take with the Israel question.
Yep. So J.D. Vance basically gives carte blanche to Israel to do whatever they want. Either they want to do a preemptive strike on Israel or not. It's totally up to them. So this is J.D. Vance defending Donald Trump's concepts of a plan remark and says that they have not come up with a healthcare plan yet because it would be too boring. This was another infamous moment in the debate where we all laughed at him.
A lot of people have criticized this concepts of a plan remark. I think it's very simple common sense. I think as Tim Walz knows from 12 years in Congress, you're not going to propose a 900-page bill standing on a debate stage. It would bore everybody to tears.
Yep, too boring. Too boring, man. I mean, there's no way we can actually announce our plan because, it'd be too boring. It'd be 900 pages and, nobody can read all that. Except that you can give us an outline of what your plan may be. Yeah. I mean, a one-page outline, people can read and analyze it, and it's like, oh, it's a good plan, or my God, what a shit plan that is. But nope, not even that. We can't get that because it's too boring. It's too boring. So let me see if any other clips here. I don't think so. I mean, there's so many of them. Uh, yeah, we did that. Hong Kong. Yep. Oh, well, that didn't load. Hold on. I guess that's it. Yeah, so we got some polling here to get to. I know I saved it. Bear with me
We
1
should
second.
show many of his faces and reactions during the
Oh, those
debate.
faces are hilarious. I don't have them, and unfortunately, because
Yeah, but you
I've
can
been.
always still search them.
Yeah. What was I gonna do? Marks, where are they? Oh, jeez, I'm all over the place this morning. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. So these are actual polling here. Dead even. There it is, right there. I mean, that's one of his infamous faces. That everybody, laughed at. We did too on Tuesday. Dead even. Politico snap poll shows stark division on debates.
His
The
reaction is like,
results.
"What? We're dead even? We're not winning? Are you
Uh-huh.
kidding me?"
The results reflect the country's hyperpolarized politics. So where is it? Here we go. Who won the VP debate? Depends on which party you're in. Okay, this
Oh
is
wow, what a shocker! Democrats think Walz won, Republicans think
uh-huh.
Vance won. What a shocker!
Yeah, who do you think won the VP debate? Democrats say Tim Walz at 72%, Vance at 5%, did not watch 23%. Republicans, 4% say Walz won, 71% says JD Vance won, and 24% did not watch. Now, I'm guessing this other is independents. So let's see,
But God bless him.
34%.
Say other Tim Walz won on other polls. Yes.
Uh-huh. I assume that means independents, but Tim Walz got 34%. He won. 25% JD Vance. 41% did not watch. So if we're assuming these are independent voters, most of them didn't even watch the debate. So quite frankly, the independent voters that you're supposed to attract with these debates didn't even watch it. Majority of them. So if this poll is be believed, so it won't matter much. Regardless on whether you watch the debate, who do you think would make a better vice president? Democrats, 92% Tim Walz, 5% Vance, 6% do not know. Republicans, 5%, it's literally the reverse. 5% Walz, 91% Vance, 4% don't know. Other, which we're assuming is independents, 44% Walz, 36% Vance, 20% does not know. So there isn't much here. It's just more. Just the VP debate ultimately doesn't matter. No, but the majority of people polled didn't even watch it. When you think about it, at least the independents, which what matters most. I mean, the partisans definitely watched because you could see it here in the polling. 23% of Democrats didn't watch and 24% didn't watch, but 41% of other did not watch, which I'm assuming is independents. It's a weird way to put it, but other, but unless they're including like third party voters there too, but they're not really making that clear. Hold on, let me see. This poll was conducted among 902 people on October 1st, 2024, with a margin. Okay, here it is. Other includes independents, so they did make. That's what that's what I assumed, but it's right there. Other includes independents. That's what I thought, but just wanted to make sure that was correct before I really ran with that. uh, That's why I had to stop watching. It pissed me off. They were sucking off Israel instead of helping us. Yeah, I mean, we went all the way with it because we already went through half of it by the time you left, Steph, and it was just just hilarious. It was like, and it wasn't nothing. It wasn't like a Trump debate where he said crazy things, and no, it was just your same old standard. Excuse me. Same old standard, debate with nothing much really, nothing important. It was just more nonsense. Concepts. So let's see. Yeah, this is so the debate sucked. Not much happened. We had really no winner, so it's kind of pointless. State Department rep Matt Miller said, we never wanted a diplomatic solution with Hamas. And less than a minute later, he said, we wish Hamas would come to the table. So this is literally like right next to each other here.
I call him Dracula.
I want to see,
Uh-huh.
I want to see a diplomatic resolution.
Well, was that the case with Rafah, for instance? Not just in Rafah, but
We've never wanted. Hold on. We've never wanted to see a diplomatic resolution with Hamas.
Oops.
Okay. Well,
There he is smiling.
We wanted to see a ceasefire, but we have always been committed. We have always been committed to the destruction of Hamas, and I wish that Hamas would come to the table and work with us on a ceasefire. As you heard me saying earlier, Hamas has been absent for weeks.
Didn't he just say 5 seconds ago that they don't want to deal with Hamas, and then now he turns around and says, "Oh well, we wish they would come to the table and negotiate with us in good faith." You're not negotiating in good faith. You just said you didn't want to deal with them.
Won't even respond to the mediators putting forward ideas asking whether they would agree to a ceasefire or not.
No shit, because you just literally said, "Well, we don't want to deal with Hamas." But then how dare they not respond to us with our mediators with a deal? Isn't that weird? But we don't want to deal with them. But at the same time, though, how dare they not respond to us and treat the United States with veterans with respect?
Look, you can talk about Israel and the culpability that Israel has and the tough decisions that Israel needs to make. And it's absolutely true that Israel needs to make tough decisions to get to a ceasefire. But the way out of this conflict is a ceasefire. And it is Hamas that's missing in action right now that won't.
Actually, it's Israel, but they're the ones that don't want a ceasefire, don't want a deal. But the U.S. can never say that, though, because if they do say that, then Snow says they don't, and they do want a diplomatic ssution. Who is this cantankerous dead blaster speaker to seeking to the press? He's the next Jen Psaki. Because Jen Psaki was in the State Department during the Obama administration. And what happened to her? Oh, yeah, she became press secretary under Joe Biden. If Kamala Harris is elected, I'm near certain this guy's going to be the press secretary at the White House. So look forward to that in the next 4 years if she wins. God forbid. But even if Trump wins, doesn't be any better, but at least we don't see this motherfucker at the White House. Most likely what's going to end up happening if Kamala Harris wins. So let's see. We have Donald Trump here attacking Liz Cheney. We'll get to this now. So this is Kamala Harris's base. Liz Cheney spoke in Wisconsin. This is what they had to say, sucking up to Liz Cheney. Liberals.
Our Vice President and the next President of the United States, Kamala Harris.
Yeah, they basically say, thank you, Liz, thank you, Liz. I'm not playing copyrighted music here. But they say, thank you, Liz, thank you, Liz.
The Bushes and the Cheneys, and all of a sudden they love them.
So this is Donald Trump's response. But before we get to that, it's like, thank you, Liz, thank you, Liz. I heard the whole clip because I just didn't realize that. I didn't oh shit, I don't want to play that, but because of the music. But yeah, they literally say, thank you, Liz, like she's some kind of hero to the left. This is how far the Democratic Party has been pushed to the right. And these are supposed to be liberals, the left the country, the Democratic Party. In the United States, this is like the furthest left party that can win an election, even though they've been pushed so far to the right that they're cheering on Liz Cheney and Dick Cheney. Dick Cheney, we used to call him Darth Cheney at the time, 20 years ago. I mean, he was like the devil incarnate, and now these same Democrats turn around and talk about, oh yeah, Dick, the Cheneys are so great, they're endorsing Democrats now. Let's have them join the party, and not even really join the party. They're still Republicans, they're still neocons, but
remember, the fake progressives still think they can push Kamala left.
Yeah. Same thing we were told about Joe Biden 4 years ago. Yeah. And all that did is push them further to the right. They know, like we said on Tuesday, they won't even Tim Walz didn't even utter Medicare for all at the debate. Instead, he talked about making healthcare more affordable. So this is Trump's response to the whole Liz Cheney thing.
The campaign trail today with Liz Cheney. Your thoughts on that?
Well, Liz Cheney lost for Congress She was terrible. Liz Cheney is a stupid war hawk. All she wants to do is shoot missiles at people. I really think it hurts. I think
He isn't wrong there.
frankly, if Kamala, I think they hurt each other. I think they're so bad, both of them.
Yeah, Kamala and Liz Cheney are so bad. Like,
and this is why they hate Trump, because he tells the truth about all this stuff.
Yeah, he occasionally says stuff like this, which they cannot stand. They absolutely cannot stand, because it's embarrassing to them, because they know it's true, but they don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
Because if they do hear it, then they're gonna be pissed. All right, so not that. Let's see. This is the reason why there is absolutely no money for us. There is no money for us.
I love.
So this says, while you're struggling to pay your energy bills or begging for help during a hurricane, here's $6 million in cash found in the home of a state pensions boss in Ukraine. I'm not even going to bother to try to pronounce that city name. I'm just going to say somewhere in Ukraine. So, look at this. Look at this, guys. That's $6 million in cash. Look at that. That's allegedly $6 million in cash. All just laying in his bed lately, like in Ukraine. Like, they're not even hiding it. It's like, yeah, we're taking these Americans' money, and we're making ourselves extremely wealthy with it. What, we're supposed to be buying bombs and weapons and stuff? Oh no, we're not doing that. We're just gonna take the money, take the cash, put it in our houses, hide it, or not even hide it, just throw it in the bed like it's no big deal. And fuck you. We have no chance against the Russians. Everybody knows that. So we're just gonna take the money, pocket it, just get the hell out of Ukraine the first chance we get, and enjoy our lives with millions of dollars of your taxpayer money, Americans. There's nothing you can do about it. That's basically their attitude there. That's 100% their attitude there. So that's why, ladies and gentlemen, there's no money to help the hurricane victims in North Carolina and in Florida. Nothing. They accidentally spent their budget doing that shit. That's it. So let's see. I wanted to show this. Let's get to, where is it? Wait. Bear with me 1 second. Walmart. There's a clip. I think it's here. Hold on. Where is it? Here it is. Here. There's a clip of Walmart. Yeah, he probably does wipe his ass on those $100 bills, or at least certain amounts of them. So these are natural disasters under capitalism. This is Walmart. What's in the garbage during the hurricane? So let's go back to the beginning here. So this is a dumpster behind Walmart. Look at all this. Look at all this. Look, that's all food, by the way. It's a dumpster full of food. This is like beyond outrageous. Looks like some bread over there, and fruits, vegetables. This food could be used. Looks like that's strawberries, watermelons. There's 2 dumpsters full. We go here. It's all the milk and Prime. Looks like those drinks. Look at that. This is just outrageous. That's outrageous. It's a dumpster full of food. It's a dumpster full of food. And this has been happening as long as as long as these massive stores have been around like this. Because when I was a teenager, and I think I've told this story before, but I worked at ShopRite. And every night after work, they would take a bunch of food and just throw it in the dumpster. Like, whatever they didn't sell that day, they would just throw in a dumpster, basically. It was pizzas, it was wings, it was, because at least the ShopRite, where in my area, they have hot food. They're able to buy hot food by the pound. So whatever doesn't get sold basically gets thrown in the dumpsters, or at least at the time. Now they donate it and stuff, try to virtue signal. But still, some of it does end up in a dumpster eventually. But back in the day, all of it ended up in a dumpster. So what I used to do was I would just go dumpster diving every day after work. Everybody'd be gone, and it's like, okay, let's just go dumpster diving. I lived off pizza and wings. I didn't even buy food for like a few months, and bread and all this, and it still was edible. I ate it all. I never got sick. It was still edible. You just throw it out like it was nothing. Eventually, eventually they caught me, and it was like they fired me. I was like, well, you threw out the food. I mean, why the hell? I'm not stealing from you. You threw it out. So, yeah, I worked at Walmart Produce for years, and we only sold the contents of the entire dumpster sold here for $400, and we had a lock on ours. So apparently, people would come by and buy the stuff that's in the dumpsters here. I wouldn't buy it; I would just steal it all, because especially at night when nobody's around. But there's cameras these days. 20 years ago, there wasn't cameras, so that's why I'm able to get away with it more. There's dumpster diving every night for food. So yeah, it's just it's just outrageous. It is absolutely outrageous. So let's get some more hurricane coverage here. Let's get to so here's Majorca's. As he says, FEMA is tremendously prepared for hurricane season. This is 3 months ago. Today, FEMA does not have the funds to make it through hurricane season.
Oh my god!
So this is the head of the Homeland Security here, Mayorkas.
FEMA is tremendously prepared. This is what we do. This is what they do. And the key here, Rebecca, is also to make sure that the communities who are potentially impacted are prepared as well. And it's not just hurricanes and wildfires, also extreme heat, which certainly some parts of the United States are already experiencing.
Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas sounding the alarm on FEMA funding right after the devastation of Hurricane Helene. Listen.
We are meeting the immediate needs with the money that we have. We are expecting another hurricane hitting. We do not have the funds. FEMA does not have the funds to make it through the season.
This all comes as the Biden-Harris administration spent over $1 billion from a FEMA program on services for migrants. Attorney General of the great state of Florida, Ashley Moody.
And yeah, this isn't made up. There is a program saying there's a program for migrants that FEMA spent $1.4 billion on in order to help migrants. But unfortunately, that was most of their budget, seems like, because they don't have any money for American hurricane victims now. So let's see. This is they don't have any money after they help migrants. Whoops, no, that's not it. I'm gonna do this. FEMA responds to accusations that money spent on migrants. The Federal Emergency Management Agency responded to false claims that money spent on illegal migrants should be spent on disaster relief funds in the aftermath of Hurricane Helene. So this week, Republicans, including Texas Governor Greg Abbott and Donald Trump Jr., took issue with a $640 million FEMA funding allocated for assisting migrants after the Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas said that FEMA was meeting the needs with the money that we have, while adding the agency did not have enough funding to make it through another hurricane this season. This is easy. Texas Governor Greg Abbott posted on X, Mayorkas and FEMA immediately stop spending money on illegal immigrants, resettlement program, and redirect those funds to areas hit by hurricanes. Put America first. So apparently there's a $640 million program to assist migrants. FEMA tapped out for hurricane recovery as GOP points to $1 billion spent on migrants. So, and the reason why this happened Joe Biden, because Joe Biden and the Democrats decided they couldn't pass funding for migrants through Congress. So it's like, oh, we have a few $1 billion here, FEMA. Let's just use that. Right? No one's going to notice. And there'd be no hurricanes this season, right? Even though there's hurricanes and there've been at least one hurricane or two every season. But this time there won't be no hurricanes, right? I mean, we'll be able to get away with this. Oh shit! It turns out that there actually was hurricanes and entire cities in North Carolina and Florida were destroyed, and we have no money for any of this to fix any of this through FEMA. Then what's the point of FEMA if they have no money to help hurricane victims like this? There's no point for FEMA if you're going to spend all this money on migrants. This is the Shelter and Services Program, the SSP, provides funding to non-federal agencies to spend on humanitarian services for non-U.S. citizens. For the fiscal year 2024, which ended on Monday, $640 million are made available. The FEMA website says this funding is intended to support CBP, the U.S. Customs and Border Protection, and the safe, orderly, and humane release of non-citizen migrants from short-term holding facilities. The money can be spent on a range of services, including food, shelter, transportation, acute medical care, clothing, and transportation services. The budget for the past year was significant in 2023 fiscal year, when $363 million was allocated. Together, more than $1 billion has been spent on non-citizen services in the past 2 years. Be nice at that $1 billion now, huh? However, the SSP is a small share of FEMA's overall yearly budget. For the new financial year, which began October 1st, the agency laid out a need for $33.1 billion. So, yeah, that's just a minuscule part of their budget, but somehow they don't have money for hurricane assistance for American citizens that are actually in the country, that are born and actual citizens in the country. But, yeah, let's just keep giving out tens of billions of dollars to migrants. So, this is a bunch of crap. Again, it's just, it's so frustrating. It's so, it pisses me off when you see this stuff happens. They don't care. The United States government does not. This is your country. Let's take this out. Check this out. Ukraine, 91 a trillion. Yeah. I mean, that's such a big number. It's like billion. It's not billion. Is
Yeah,
it? I mean,
there's 9 zeros, so that would be billion.
Okay, 91 billion, 30. Yeah, look at that. It's just a shit ton of money in the trillions. And Taiwan got 563 million. And so this is ICE non-detained docket. Non-citizens are not held in ICE detention. 2 million. It's gone up every year. Today is like 7,400,000. Apparently, the government's giving out $13,000 in EBT cards, aka food stamp cards, and $5,000 in cash to nearly every one of these migrants that comes in the country. Helene family, $750. Maui fire, $700. Mallorca has warned that FEMA doesn't have enough money to get through the current hurricane season. But the United States government has trillions and trillions of dollars to spend on foreign aid, or foreign military aid, we should say, or bombs to bomb the shit out of other countries. But we do not have money under any circumstances for American citizens. So Maui fire victims get $700, just a pittance of what their properry was was
that
worth.
Pick of Joe Biden right there. He's like, huh? Is that a damaged car? Huh? What's going on here?
It's just ridiculous. And the Helene families, just give them extra $50 after their horrible hurricane that destroyed most of their cities in North Carolina and some in Florida. But yeah, it's just not. Who cares? Let's just give them a pittance and homeowners insurance to cover the rest of it. What happens if they don't? So this is a letter that allegedly was written by a whistleblower. FEMA whistleblowers come forward saying the agency misappropriated funds in the way to Hurricane Helene and withheld pre-disaster aid. So this is a letter from Matt
Wait.
Gaetz' office.
Sorry, my cat hissed at me for whatever reason.
So, let's see. So this says, oops, come on. Yesterday, you stated the Federal Emergency Management Agency, which is a part of your department, does not have enough funds to make it through the hurricane season. This news comes after FEMA spent hundreds of millions of dollars of taxpayer money on migrants through the border czar Kamala Harris's open border instead of prioritizing funding for Americans impacted by disasters. Blah, 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 blah. My office has been in contact with whistleblowers and numerous emergency management functions at federal, state, and local levels, and they all point to the same critical mismanagement issues. FEMA has wasted taxpayer funds, misappropriated funds, and left other federal, state, and local responders without deployment orders on the ground. As reported and further confirmed by my office, hundreds if not thousands of service members were deployed by the Department of Defense to North Carolina and have sat idle, waiting for FEMA. We have confirmed FEMA's employees deployed on the clock, awaiting orders in hotels. FEMA pre-disaster aid was withheld, exasperating the emergency. It is also public that NGOs have purchased airline tickets for migrants through the use of FEMA funds. I don't know how true that is, but okay. Maybe I wouldn't be surprised if that's true, but the aftermath of Hurricane Helene's major disaster and your unpreparedness are leaving Americans in distress, unable to access food, water, or medicine, expecting help with non-coming. Please provide answers following questions by October 1st, 2024. So yeah, allegedly there's whistleblowers that are saying that FEMA misappropriated funds, mishandled funds, blah blah blah, in order to, and now that's the reason why they're really unprepared for this disaster. So let's see. No, here we go. There we go. So this is what I was talking about earlier. Everyone in her area, including herself, applied for $750 in aid and were denied. So this is.
Hey guys, for those that don't know, I'm at the foothills of the Western North Carolina mountains, and everybody in my area that I've talked to, including myself, who applied for the $750 assistance payment from FEMA, has been denied. Okay? Yeah. They've denied us. Okay. So here we sit. We've thrown out all of our food because we had no power for 5-6 days. Some still are without power. Here we sit. Limited resources in the store. And they have denied our $750 resource check. So, yeah. How do you like that?
Ha. So apparently these Americans aren't even eligible for the money. So if you go to community notes here, they sit from. Alright, so for context, the only thing she claims to have lost is food that went bad in the fridge and freezer due to 5-day power outage. Notably, her house wasn't flooded. FEMA concluded that the damage reported did not meet the required conditions. So now, apparently, it's like they're means testing this $750. So just because you lost your food doesn't mean you're eligible for money from the federal government. Even though this happened to me, like back this is about 2011, 2012, when Hurricane Sandy passed by here and destroyed a lot of. We were without electric for 5 days. Very similar here. But guess what? Only thing we lost was our food too, and we got money. In fact, we got, I think it might have been $1,500, $2,000 from the government, and all we lost was food. I mean, it was crazy how much money we got. It was like, and we didn't even ask for it. It just ended up in our food stamp cards, which is we had food stamps. So It's like, holy shit, where all this money come from? And then we got letters from the government saying, oh yeah, this is for, money from FEMA because, you lost your food or whatever, for whatever, you lost property and stuff. Like, oh, okay, thank you. We were able to get all that food back. But now today it's like, oh no, yeah, you can't even get that. You can't even get $750, even though we got
it's so
a lot more
disgraceful
than that.
for community notes to be doing that shit. I mean, come on. Like,
Yeah,
seriously.
here's another one. FEMA's own website says the $750 is for food, water, baby formula, breastfeeding supplies, medication, and other emergency supplies. So even their own website says, that money's for food. So apparently, at the same time up here it says they're means testing it because her house wasn't flooded, even though you would assume. But this is not their job to be means testing this shit. I mean, it's like their job is to give out money to Americans into cities that need it to rebuild. Like they're not even doing that. It's like, oh yeah, no, we have no money. Sorry, I mean, you're just good luck to you trying to rebuild your cities and your homes and stuff because we got no money for you. Zero. So sorry. So sorry for you guys. Let's see. Yeah, it's just bullshit. It's just like no money for us. All the money for Ukraine and for, let's see. And it gets worse. I mean, not only do the hurricanes are out there, but and destroying everything, but also they're trying to take our jobs, or at least our fast food jobs. They're trying to take our fast food jobs because there's this company, and what's funny is this came to be in an ad, like at the beginning of the week. I mean, it's an ad about miso robotics. Why is this important? Because this fucking machine can do all your fast food, everything. And it's like, okay, what's the big deal? Well, they're getting a lot of fast food restaurants are getting ready to install this and just fire everybody. So if you don't believe me, here, I mean, this company is literally like, all robotics can add up to $20,000 in monthly profit for fast food restaurants. What does that mean? That means, hey, you don't have to pay for labor or very little labor. So $20,000 in monthly profits for you. That means, you don't have to employ humans, who bitch and moan about pay and stuff. So just install this machine and let it do all the work, and, you can pocket the cash. This is why our top brands from White Castle to Jack in the Box are already hiring Flippy, which is the machine's name. Apparently, it's very ridiculous. Over 170 fast food brands are candidates for Flippy's automation, creating $3.5 billion in opportunity. Share our growth as an investor. So, I got this to invest in this. So it's like, invest now. Let me see. Let me actually click on that. Minimum investment $1,003.94. Share price $4.97 per share. Equity, common stock. You can get bonus miso stock when you invest over $10,000. We want to thank our early investors and community for supporting us by giving you extra stock. So yeah, they want $1,000 bare minimum from investors. So investing from, so yeah, so we're pretty fucked here. Let's see. This is more. Look at that. They can do everything from flipping burgers to frying French fries. Everything that humans do, they can do it, and they won't complain about pay. The reason why I'm covering this is because this is going to get a lot of people fired. There goes the chicken wings. Oh, but in the fryer. There it is. So yeah, this came to me in a YouTube video, and it's like, and I saw it. I'm like, holy shit! Are you really telling me?
Did it get ratioed?
No, it was a commercial. I don't know where they got ratioed on it.
But you say YouTube, so I was wondering if it got ratioed.
Oh, it was a commercial that there was given to me, so I don't know whether it actually got ratioed or not. I would assume so. So yeah, this is the future. They're going to rid us, get rid of humans to do most of the work while we. Let's see. I wouldn't eat McDonald's anyways. They kill us with their poison. Yeah, I mean, I haven't eaten a McDonald's in years, but yeah, there's people that still work there, and so yeah, let's get to the longshoremen strike because that was wrapped up rather quickly. So there was a strike that started just a few days ago. There was a strike that started just a few days ago. Where is it though? So this is before. Now I'm going to get to an article from, not an article, but this is from Nick. He covered this. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce is calling for Biden to shut down dock workers' strike down as the corporate media is running massive propaganda against the workers, which is true. I mean, corporate media was trying to blame the workers for this. And basically, they were saying, well, it's right before Christmas, and, they're shutting down the docks, and they're going to destroy our supply lines. And by the way, this is Nick's video on it, so let's try to watch this real quick. 2 minutes.
Over 50,000 union longshoremen are now on strike. The East Coast and the Gulf ports are completely shut down.
What?
Put it in full screen.
Oh. Yeah, that's probably better.
After the union was unable to agree on a contract with the management last night. Their dispute is not only over wages, but over the rise of automation that may cost them their job. The ramification of this strike is gigantic. Not only would it cost the United States over $3.7 billion in the first week, it will shut down supply chains. This strike being so close to the election and right after the devastating effects of Hurricane Helene, the workers have all the leverage right now. Here is the union boss who authorized the strike, explaining how much power the workers have in this situation.
When my men hit the streets, from Maine to Texas, every single port will lock down. You know what's gonna happen? First week, be all over the news every night, boom, boom. Second week, guys who sell cars can't sell cars because the cars ain't coming in off the ships. Third week, malls start closing down. They can't get the goods from China. They can't sell clothes. They can't do this. Everything in the United States comes on a ship. They go out of business. Construction workers get laid off because the materials aren't coming in. The steel's not coming in. The lumber's not coming in. They lose their job. Everybody's hating the longshoremen now because now they realize how important our jobs are. Now I have the president screaming at me, I'm putting a Taft-Hartley on you. Go ahead. Taft-Hartley means I have to go back to work for 90 days. That's a cooling off period. Do you think when I go back for 90 days, those men are going to go to work on that pier? It's going to cost the companies money to pay their salaries. Well, they went from 30 moves an hour maybe to 8. They're going to be like this. Who's going to win here in the long run? You're better off sitting down and let's get a contract and let's move on with this world. And in today's world, I'll cripple you. I will cripple you, and you have no idea what that means. Nobody does.
Considering the impacts of the strike, doesn't that highlight the labor value of the longshoremen that are going on strike? Simply pay the port workers their fair labor value before the strike destroys our economy, you absolute maniacs. They don't do that though, because that would set a dangerous precedent for the ruling class. Instead, the Chamber of Commerce is calling for genocide Joe Biden to break this strike the same way he broke the rail strike. Our government is completely tyrannical, and it's crazy how many Americans don't realize it yet.
So that's that. Yeah, I mean, this is...
What I was going to say was we had that guy not supporting the Democrats And then just a couple weeks ago, what was that company that decided not to endorse either
Teamsters.
Teamsters?
Yeah,
So
that union.
it just goes to show you just how fraud the UAW union are for when they endorsed Biden and Kamala. You know, that
Yeah.
just shows how big of frauds they are. So
Yeah, they are absolutely outrageous. But yeah, the World Socialist website, they put out an article because this strike didn't last long. This lasted barely 3 days before they came to a deal. At least a tentative deal both through the election. And that was a little too quick. I mean, especially after what this guy was talking about here about how they were in it for the long run and what's going to happen within 3 weeks and blah 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 blah. It turns out it lasted 3 days. Betrayal on the docks. The ILA sells out longshoremen strike. So, and what I thought was, why do this so quickly? And it's like, it seems like, because I'm assuming that the International Longshoremen's Association endorsed Kamala Harris. At least I could be wrong on that, but every other union endorsed Kamala Harris except for Teamsters. So, which is why I find it weird that they agreed so quickly to end the strike, because it could hurt Kamala Harris politically. So, in a massive betrayal, the International Longshoremen Association shut down the powerful strike by 45,000 dock workers Thursday afternoon. Longshoremen must reject this effort to sabotage their struggle. The strike demonstrated the vast power of the working class, threatening to bring the operations of major corporations to a halt and threatening the conduct of the United States global war. But the more powerful the strike, the more rapidly the trade union bureaucracy feels the need to shut it down. The ILA bureaucracy felt compelled to ride to the rescue of the Biden administration to ensure the flow of weapons for America's global wars, having already pledged to continue moving military equipment during the strike. So even during the strike, they were like, "Oh yeah, we'll still move your military weapons and equipment. Don't worry about it." But the union apparatus was eager to provide political establishment that it can be relied on, so it forced order on the home front. The shutdown of the strike followed the announcement Thursday afternoon by right-wing Florida Governor Ron DeSantis that he would deploy the National Guard to ports in Florida in order to break the strike, falsely
you
claiming
just
the
happened to
strike was
put right wing because it's right wing. You can't trust this person.
uh falsely claiming that the strike was interfering with relief efforts after Hurricane Helene. So yeah, that's a very convenient excuse on why he had to threatened to break the strike. In shutting down the strike, the ILA officials announced a tentative agreement on wages only, but no full contract. Workers are being sent back under a 90-day extension to the existing contract, which expires on January 15th, which is conveniently after the election, because they didn't want to hurt Kamala Harris politically. This is my opinion on it, because I'm assuming the leadership endorsed Kamala Harris. The agreement on wages is rumored to be for a 61% increase over 6 years, but there was no agreement on other aspects, including job protection from automation, which is a big one. This was the biggest issue behind the strike in the first place. The union bureaucrats claim that 3 months extension will give negotiators time to hash out this and other terms. This is absurd given the fact that they already willingly given up workers' leverage by shutting down the strike before those talks even begun. Usually how that would work is you continue the strikes, but you would like, okay, if you want to negotiate, we're here, but we're not stopping these strikes. Instead, like, no, 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 okay, fine, we have a tentative agreement, we'll do pay raises over 6 years, but yeah, go back to work, please. Don't hurt the Democrats politically here. Uh, as the auto workers limited stand-up strike last year and the Teamsters Union empty strike-ready campaign at UPS last year, the stage is being set for massive automation-driven layoffs. Bureaucrats from each union likewise claim historic victories on wages and other issues, only to allow thousands begin losing their jobs within weeks of ratification. Over the past 2 days, there's been a massive campaign in corporate media against the strike. A series of statements, including from Wall Street Journal and National Review, have urged Biden to issue a Taft-Hartley injunction, which is what ended the railroad workers' strike in the beginning of Biden administration. Business Insider called the strike one of the trio of crises threatening to upend the Harris presidential election campaign. There it is right there. See, this is what this is about. This is what scared everybody into coming to a deal quickly, because they don't want a Trump presidency. They're all scared to death of the orange man. They're all orange man bad. So they immediately came to a deal because it might hurt Kamala Harris. It might hurt Kamala Harris's reelection campaign or election campaign. I
Well,
said
too fucking
reelection.
bad. Maybe it's her fault then.
Yeah. Yeah, but again, it's like they're all scared to death of the orange man. So that's why it's like, oh, okay, let's come to a deal. Come to a deal. I mean, we'll give you 61% pay increases over the next 6 years and go back to work. And oh yeah, by the way, we don't actually have a contract. It's temporary extension until January 15th, which means that soon as January 15th comes around and goes, because I don't see a new contract because this company is not interested in giving out, because the big thing is automation. That's what the union's worried about, and they should be, because people are going to lose their jobs because of automation. And allegedly, they've agreed to some sort of commission or some sort of stuff like that, where they will examine it over the next 6 years, and they will submit a proposal, and both sides will talk about it, and it'll probably go nowhere, and eventually they'll automate anyways. So, but yes, it's a temporary reprieve, but that's not been negotiated yet. But I read somewhere that might be what ends up happening. All right, many outlets, including the so-called liberal newspapers such as the New York Times, ran pieces about ILA President Harold Daggett's close to $1 million union salary, reminding him on which side his bread is buttered. So yeah, hey dude, you make nearly $1 million a year. You're one of us. You're not a worker. You're just the guy that sits on his ass in a desk. You're a union leader. So remember, make sure you know what make sure you side with us. On Wednesday, Biden, who banned the strike from the railroads 2 years ago, called the dock strike a man-made disaster and called on the union and port operators to get the strike done. This amounted to marching orders to the ILA bureaucrats that they cannot allow the strike to go any longer. DeSantis' strike-breaking threat exposes the populist pretensions of Trump and the Republicans, who have been able to capitalize on Democrats' obsession with war and manifest indifference to the social crisis facing workers. Their attempt to build a fascist movement through racist incitement against immigrants is aimed at crushing all resistance to corporate profit making and imperialist wars. For months, Daggett and others has postured with long-winded vulgar tirade against the port operators, but this was only done to get out in front of the real driving force of the strike, the massive anger of the rank and file, as WSWS warned. They shut down the strike at the first opportunity. The dock strike demonstrated the capacity of the working class to stop war and reshape society in the interest of the broad majority population, not for the wealthy few. The same profit interests that drive war abroad are also driving attacks on the working class in the form of automation, forced overtime, and wage stagnation. So this goes on. Let's see. The international workforce in the shipping industry, involving workers from every continent employed by global corporations, is a microcosm of the global unity of the working class, would have no interest in being pitted against itself in wars of conquest. The betrayal of the strike shows blah blah blah. It goes on. Detroit rank and file workers face mass layoff sanctioned by the UAW bureaucracy, including 2,400 next week in the Warren truck plant. Said they should follow the lead of the dock workers and strike to defend jobs too. So, yeah, it seems like unions, especially the union leadership, are really like they don't see themselves as the rank and file, and it's another example of it. It's like, oh yeah, by
Hey,
the way,
you know
yeah,
these two people over there with those long chats over there? Do you know these people?
this are probably bots. It's definitely
Yeah.
bots. Yeah, those aren't real people.
Yeah.
Asheville kind of sucks right now. Yeah, we're gonna keep you that way until after the election. Hey Earl, hey people. Yeah, these are bots. I get these occasionally, so I just ignore them usually. So, so that's the article. Let's see. Share this tab. There's another article that Indy sent me. Uh, so ILA port strike ends through tentative deal. The agreement, which extends the parties' master contract, comes 3 days after the strike disrupted East and Gulf Coast ports. East and Gulf Coast ports. Can't even read right now. So, how do you listen? Hold on, let me see.
Isla port strike ends through tentative deal. The strike at East and Gulf Coast ports ended Thursday, with cargo operations at several ports expected to resume. The International Longshoremen's Association and United States Maritime Alliance announced the news in a joint statement Thursday night. Per the statement, the two parties have agreed to a tentative deal on wages and to extend their master contract until January 15, 2025. Both parties also agreed to return to the bargaining table to negotiate all other outstanding issues. The agreements put an end to a 3-day strike that began Tuesday and shut down operations at several ports along the East and Gulf coasts, after negotiations had stalled due to automation and wage concerns. Both parties had attempted to prevent a strike by trading counteroffers in the hours leading up to disruption. But the union rejected USMX's offer at the time, saying it fell far short of what ILA rank and file members are demanding in wages and protections against automation. As the strike progressed, the Biden-Harris administration put pressure on USMX to offer a contract reflective of longshoremen's contributions, while making it clear the government would not intervene to stop the strike.
No, that's bullshit. If it came down to it, the Biden administration would have stopped the strike. But they were just posturing and saying, oh, no, but we're not going to stop this strike, even though we did it with the railroad workers, but we're not going to do it this time. So trust us. We're not going to do it this time. They would have done it. If this strike would have continued, they definitely would have done it. Especially if it was hurting Kamala Harris politically, which it would have.
With a tentative deal on wages in place, cargo operations can now resume at union-operated ports. Effective immediately, all current job actions will cease and all work covered by the master contract will resume, the ILA and USMX said in a joint statement. Some ports have already announced reopening plans for Friday. Port Houston will reopen at 1
I was not referring to you, Earl, so I just want to make that clear.
Yeah.
So I was referring to the Kick bot and the Twitch bot there.
p.m. Central Time and offer extended gate hours on Saturday. Georgia Ports Authority to open its truck gates at 6 a.m. Eastern Time at Garden City Terminal and 8 a.m. Eastern Time at its Ocean Terminal. Meanwhile, North Carolina ports said normal operations will resume at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. In recent statements, President Joe Biden, Acting Labor Secretary Julie Su and Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg applauded both parties for reaching a tentative deal. As President Biden, Vice President Harris and this administration have said again and again, collective bargaining works, Su said in a statement Thursday. I congratulate the International Longshoremen's Association and the United States Maritime Alliance for reaching...
If the United States government says congratulate you on your deal, not a good thing. This deal kind of fucks your workers then. I'm sorry, if the United States government comes out and say, hey, what a great deal you guys had, man. Trust us, this is an incredible fucking deal you made. That means you're fucked if you're a worker. Because it's like, no, this isn't good.
reaching a tentative agreement on a strong wage package that allows the East Coast and Gulf ports to reopen while the parties finish bargaining on a new contract. Buttigieg said the Department of Transportation will work closely with supply chain stakeholders to support an orderly process of returning these ports to service and to encourage a good outcome in the subsequent contract negotiations.
So that's the article. I mean, my throat was like, it's no accurate of the article, but yeah, if the United States government tells you, what a great job you did in your contract negotiations, and if you're a union, you got screwed in that deal, and I'm almost confident. Again, I'm not really the union expert. That'd be more like Indy. But I would nearly guarantee that there's going to be no deal by January 15th, so they're going to go on strike again. And since, the new president's going to be almost inaugurated by that point, so no one's really going to care by that point because you lost your leverage. Because they had all the leverage in the world. Because the election was coming up. This was going to hurt Kamala Harris politically because, unfortunately, she's running basically as the incumbent. So it was going to hurt her politically. Trump can attack her on it. And... that would lead to her poll numbers going down, which will probably lead to a loss, which is why the administration was desperate to try to get some sort of deal, which they would have used that law that stopped the railroad strike. Guaranteed. If it was hurting her politically, they would force them back to work. even if it's temporary for 90 days. That's all, they just want them back at work before the election. So it would have hurt her politically. They had so much leverage, and they just gave it away after 3 days. I mean, it's just so disgusting to me at what they did and what the leaders of the union did. And again, the leaders of unions have basically they make a lot of money. They haven't probably worked the docks in years or worked in years, an actual rank and file, and they just give away to the masters, bosses, whatever you want to call these people. Well, you can call them masters technically. I mean, they're the money interest. You just give everything away to them while the workers barely gets crap. And oh yeah, by the way, you get laid off because of automation, and the union allows it to happen. Like, what's the point of a union then? If union basically allowing you to get laid off because of automation, there's no point in a union. Like, you might as well stop giving money to a union if they're gonna do that.
Yeah.
So Earl says, I'm grumpy. Everything but this phone is broken. Where are you, North Carolina or in Florida? Because if you're in North Carolina, I'm sorry. I mean, sorry to hear that. I mean, I covered it earlier. The government has completely abandoned, North Carolina and Florida, and they're not going to do anything. They're absolutely not going to do anything, and it's like it's brutal. I mean, it's just disgusting. Like, they're not going to do anything for us or for North Carolina and Florida, because it's like, oh yeah, by the way, go fuck yourself. We give you $750, and oh, by the way, most of you are not even eligible for the money. So yeah, go fuck yourselves. So the government's abandoned North Carolina. They've abandoned Florida. Abandoned. I mean, it's just so frustrating as an American to watch other Americans just get abandoned and screwed over all the time. So, like, for example, what was that hurricane? Maria, I think, when Trump first became president, and the United States did nothing.
Yeah.
It did nothing. Trump was president then. All Trump did was went to fucking Puerto Rico and used paper towels and, like, yeah, there you go. There you go. Like he was a basketball. Like, there you go. Just paper towels or whatever. To this day, a lot of the infrastructure is still not fixed. Even though Biden's president, we have new administration, nothing's done still. So
Don't forget, Biden said, in preparation for the earthquakes and hurricanes, get vaccinated.
yeah, it's really important to get your vaccines to prepare for earthquakes and hurricanes. I mean, somehow a vaccine is going to protect you and your property without being destroyed. So I don't know how that's going to work, but
I'll be right back.
Okay. After the devastation and lack of response to the Biden-Harris regime, I hereby declare the now call it Hurricane Kamala. It's Lauren Loomer, but the clip is what matters to me. Guys, this is fucking unreal. Holy shit, unreal. Look at this. So this is North Carolina here. I'm not sure what city, but it's completely destroyed. It's going to take billions of dollars to fix this. And the government's like, oh, I'm sorry. We have no money for you. We may have it in the next budget, but, right now we have no money for you. So what you do with the $33 billion you got in your budget? We don't know. Sorry. Earl says, I'm in the epicenter. Government was late, but got Blackhawks and Chinooks flying around now. Well, the military's there, but what are you going to do? Did you get your $750 yet? Or are you able to apply for it, Earl? Because we played that clip earlier. Everybody was rejected for the money. So I'm curious to see what you think.
South Carolina wrong.
Did I misspell it too?
Yeah.
That's why. Yeah, it's like care. That's funny. It's like, that's funny. I didn't realize him. Like, all right, here we go. So I spoke with the only FEMA crew, Glenn Beck. I spoke with the only FEMA crew we could find in Asheville, North Carolina. It was stationed off the main road where no Hurricane Helene victims could easily see them. We got here yesterday, a week late. So allegedly, they got there a week after the hurricane actually happened. So it's 8-minute clip. I'm not going to play all that, but local Republican representative in North Carolina setting the record straight. Don't really care about that. SpaceX engineers are trying to deliver Starlink terminals and supplies to devastated areas in North Carolina right now, and FEMA is both failing in help and won't let others help. This is unconscionable. They just took this video a few hours ago. Elon Musk allegedly been trying to help these victims, but FEMA won't let him. He's trying. I guess he's trying to be a hero here, or pretending to be one. So. So Earl says that $750 is a joke. I definitely agree. Just got sold to use the internet a few hours ago. Can't apply for shit with smoke signals. Yeah. I mean, if you don't have electric and you don't have internet, how are you supposed to apply for this money? But yeah, the $750 is definitely a joke. I mean, it's like basically fuck you from the government. It's like, oh, you had your house destroyed, or you had your property destroyed, or you don't have any food because it rotted because you had no electric. Oh, here's $750, and good luck trying to apply for it. You need to do it online. So, just outrageous.
Yeah, it's all fiber optic.
So, Earl says Musk actually helped. He kept the only radio station working. At least that's more than what FEMA's done. How does the Zionist dictate Musk? Yeah, Steph. But yeah, allegedly Musk actually did help, which is great. That's more than what FEMA did. But still, it's outrageous.
How does the right continue to out-left the left? That's just unreal.
And they allow it to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, actually, this administration is like, well, we're not doing anything. We've abandoned North Carolina to its luck, and parts of Florida were destroyed too. Wow. Well, according to this account, 60 Walmart trucks full of food, water, and supplies were dispatched to Asheville, North Carolina. Walmart showing up big time. And we just saw another clip earlier, Walmart throwing away food in North Carolina. So I don't know what's true. So I don't know. There's a bunch of Walmart trucks here. It doesn't mean it's actually going to help people. But Floridians on their way to help North Carolina. So more trucks there. That's an ad. MAGA, no health blah blah blah. And again, MAGA lying. No helicopters are rescuing people in North Carolina. North Carolina National Guard. We completed 146 flight missions and rescued 538 people, 150 pets. That's the bare minimum. I mean, that's a huge thing. Oh, we completed all these missions, guys, to save people. It's like, yeah, that's your job.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking about North Carolina. Why aren't you,
That's your job to say, especially the North Carolina National Guard. That's your job. You're supposed to be doing that. Let's see. Elon Musk posted that one of his SpaceX engineers on the ground in North Carolina is reporting that FEMA is blocking and seizing shipments of aid, including Starlink receivers, which this is the receivers where will allow you to use the internet, over just like Maui and Lahaina. Yeah, we talked about Maui and Lahaina earlier. They just gave $700 to those people and basically try to steal their properties from them. FEMA is blocking and seizing shipments of aid, including Starlink receivers. The engineer reports that all Starlink shipments are on hold until they can get an escort from local first responders to protect him from the FEMA enforcers? Why is FEMA blocking aid shipments? Why is FEMA blocking deliveries of Starlink receivers? If this is true, I mean, this is an interesting story. Elon Musk is claiming that they've been holding back assistance that he's been trying to give. The mayor of Asheville, North Carolina, is Esther E. Manheimer. If you're wondering, yes, she is. Okay, I understand that. We're all being lied to. I'm not going to play it. I don't know what that is. Here comes the defense of the Biden administration. Guys, quit pretending, or at least I think it is, quit pretending the Biden and Harris can snap their fingers and send millions to rebuild North Carolina. It's not like they did that earlier this year. It's built $300 million pier off the Gaza Strip that sank in 6 days. Yep. That's not a defense, to be fair. It's a complete attack, which is true. They spent $320 million to build a pier off the Gaza Strip. Oh, by the way, it sank in 6 days, so it's underwater right now. What a waste of taxpayer money. I mean, the outrageous waste of taxpayer money is just, look at that. It's like it's just underwater now. Okay. So, oh God, that's horrible. Whistleblowers and FEMA concerned Kamala Harris has ordered them to stand down and do nothing. Again, I have no way to confirm that, so I'm not even going to bother with that. FEMA can't be trusted. Of course not. I totally agree with that. The Harris-Biden administration completely turned their backs on the suffering Americans in North Carolina. General Flynn confirms over 1,000 dead, with death toll expected to double. Again, okay. Anyone doing rescues in North Carolina should watch this. North Carolina sheriffs say they're ready to arrest Kamala Harris's FEMA agents if they continue blocking aid to workers and pilots. Blah, blah, blah. Again, what's true, what's not true, I don't know. I was just looking for videos for the most part. And President Trump is departing Georgia, next stop North Carolina. Blah, blah, blah. I am essentially pressured. It's a Elon Musk charity account. American. He's a Jewish mayor. I don't care. I mean, unless it's, I don't know what that's supposed to be.
I don't.
Yeah. Another Hurricane Helene victims donation center shut down by Kamala Harris's FEMA. So they're shutting down. I don't know what's going on around. This is interesting. Was Hurricane Helene created for BlackRock to mine lithium deposits under people's houses in North Carolina? I didn't know this, but apparently there's lithium deposits in a lot of cities in North Carolina, and they're under people's houses. So,
disaster.
I have a little time. So there is allegedly the United States government has a building or has a patent to create hurricanes. I've seen this patent. It's a real patent. They have a machine that created, hurricanes. Earl says this shit is biblical while towns are gone. I mean, yeah, so are they going to rebuild these towns or what? But yeah, I hope. I don't know what's the U.S. government abandons North Carolina and Florida, or parts of Florida that were destroyed. What's the future of these cities? They'll be bought up cheaply, and they'll build either like memory for AI, those big servers that operates AI. I covered this a few weeks ago on my show, where there's entire neighborhoods being bought up and destroyed in order to build out these buildings to put servers in for AI. Here in North Carolina, most likely it's a lithium thing. So
Hurricane Helene recently caused catastrophic damage to the American Southeast, with North Carolina experiencing the worst flooding ever recorded in that state. The death toll continues to rise, with the total cost of damage reaching into the billions, but many are speculating that something not wholly natural could be at the source of this terrible disaster. Pointing to this footage of floodwaters, notice the bizarre shape the waves are making.
Now that's weird. I've never seen waves do that.
Many have suggested the similarity between these waves and the appearance of magnetic fluid when exposed to a magnet. Furthermore, several people are pointing to theories about HAARP, the High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program.
I've heard of that. In fact, it was Jesse Ventura covered it on his conspiracy theory show, what it can do. So I'm not surprised that HAARP was brought up here.
And suggestions that this technology is capable of altering the weather on a mass scale. Theories suggest that HAARP's powerful antennas could heat portions of the ionosphere, causing disruptions in the atmosphere below, leading to severe changes in weather patterns, such as influencing storms or even creating hurricanes. That by modifying the ionosphere, HAARP could alter jet streams, the most powerful winds that travel high in the atmosphere and greatly influence weather systems. By shifting these streams, HAARP could allegedly direct severe weather to specific areas. Several experts have spoken out suggesting this theory could be true. Dr. Nick Bejic suggests HAARP could be used as a weapon of mass destruction.
We can trigger various cascading effects where it sort of builds on the energy that's naturally in place.
Dr. Bernard Eastland has published work on ionospheric heaters.
I chose what's called a phased array antenna for the patents because it can be aimed.
Were they rocks? I mean, it could be. I mean, I'm not saying this is true. I'm just saying it's interesting to think about. You know, it could be true. I wouldn't be surprised. At the same time, it's probably not true, but still, I think it's...
You can move it around and
theory.
send those microwaves different directions to possibly modify weather.
Others have pointed out that this region in North Carolina, which the hurricane caused the most damage, possesses rich lithium deposits underneath the earth, which the legalities of accessing underneath people's properties would have made the mining impossible.
It plans to develop Carolina Lithium as one of the lowest cost, most sustainable lithium hydroxide operations in the world.
But the mass destruction now opens the gates for such mining efforts.
This Bill Gates-backed startup just raised $145 million to source lithium-ion batteries for electric vehicles. So Bill Gates invested $145 million into this company. So he doesn't invest that much money just to lose it. I mean, I'm not saying, again, this might not be true. This is just a theory. But at the same time, it's like, why would he invest $145 million into this specific company that's supposed to be in North Carolina and based out of that? So.
Would you really put it beyond the people in power if they possessed such technology to resist using it? We lack the hard evidence to prove this is the case, but would it really surprise you?
Wouldn't surprise me. Alright, let's see. It was a shit ton of rain coming down the mountain. Again, it's just a theory, but it's, something to think about. This is nonsense. I mean, again, I was just, displaying that just for posterity because it's, they definitely do want that lithium underneath people's houses, part of North Carolina. I mean, they created a company, they're trying. I would not be surprised if they started buying up these neighborhoods and cities that were destroyed in order to start digging around for lithium, because it's just that, they're just that, callous, and they don't care, just want the lithium to make money.
Yeah.
Even if this theory is not true, I would not be surprised if they, started doing this now. I know it was a hurricane from the Caribbean. I mean, I saw the radar. So yeah. So even if this theory about HAARP is nonsense, they could still very conveniently turn around and say, hey, your house was destroyed. You can't afford homeowners insurance? Okay, here's money to you to go away and move to another part of North Carolina, another part of the country. Good luck while we can build. We'll build in your homes. So good luck. So yeah, I do have to wrap up. I mean, but I just wanted to let everybody know that if you're interested, Pro Wrestling Talk will not be tomorrow. It'll be Sunday at 7 o'clock. So look forward to that on Sunday. We'll be talking about the pay-per-view and other stuff. So look forward to that. Also, yeah, I'm sure it's hell on earth down there.
For dinner on Sunday with my dad and my relatives. So,
okay.
I don't know if I'll be able to make it on Sunday, but
okay, that's fine. I mean, but it'll be on Sunday. People are still dying. Yeah, I'm sorry. I mean, it's the United States government has just abandoned North Carolina, and it's just terrible down there. Hopefully, with with more attention, because this needs more attention and more pressure. Yeah, that too. Episode 2. Haven't been able to watch it yet. I can't find it, but maybe you could send me a clip or something. But yeah, I mean, hopefully with enough public pressure, the government will do more. I mean, there needs to be a lot more public pressure on all our shows, on every single show. You know, there just needs to be more public pressure on from the independent media space. Unfortunately, most of the bigger subscribers are just talking about how bigger channels talking about how Trump is horrible and how evil he is, and how he's going to destroy the country if he's elected. I looked.
You mean to
Very
tell me
few
they
of them.
didn't do it in his first term?
Yeah, I looked. Unfortunately, we're just getting Trump derangement syndrome and the election coverage. Like, these people don't care about North Carolina and Florida, who's been completely abandoned. It's unfortunate. That's great. I mean, yeah, I've used Restream ever since INN's got it, and it's amazing. I like it too. So hopefully something can be done about North Carolina, and people need a lot more assistance than this goddamn $750, which more people cannot apply for because there's no electricity and they can't charge their phones. Or if they apply for it, they get rejected because of technicalities. So fuck the government. Why we honestly, I don't care if corporations or if rich people don't pay taxes or not. Because what's the point? All it's going to is just wars and stuff. We can't even help Americans, either in Puerto Rico or North Carolina or in Florida. Just abandon them. It's like, oh, good luck to you somehow. Okay. Well, we do have to wrap up. It's 8:59 here on the East Coast, and I gotta go. But I want to thank everybody for watching. Hope you enjoyed. We'll be back next Friday at 7. Go Yankees. Yeah, I don't blame you, Steph. I'm not buying Netflix either for that shit. I'll probably have to watch Jim Cornette then. Please like and subscribe, and join us Sunday for Wrestling Talk if you're a fan. And we're gonna see you guys on Sunday. If you're not, then we'll see you Angel in the afternoon next.